I'm very honored, and it means a great deal, so much more than you might imagine. Way back when I was a kid on what was then 4th Avenue, I'd stroll up High Street throughout the years, as a matter of fact, as they went by, giving a nod to the wonderful old post office that used to be.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Your worship, Mr. Mayor, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I first of all want to express my sincere thanks to the Festival Committee for giving me this rare and privileged opportunity to welcome and introduce to you one of Canada's most well-respected and prestigious citizens of our time, Gordan Pinsent. There are only 2 people in this world that I know of who started their careers in the early 50s and are still actively pursuing their lifelong dreams. And they are Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and Gordan Pinsent. But just think about that. Over 60 years, entertaining Canadians and beyond, working in an industry that has seen so many changes over the years. Show business is very competitive and has many ups and downs, but Gordan challenged all of these obstacles with solid judgment by staying true to himself, by demonstrating a hard work ethic, and of course, by sharing his ability to eloquently portray his good old Newfoundland humor and personality. Isn't it any wonder then that in 2004, Gordan Pinsent received the Governor General's Performing Arts Award, Canada's highest honor in the performing arts. As a teenager, at just 17 years old, Gordan left his home on 4th Avenue in Grand Falls and the country of Newfoundland with hopes, dreams, and talent the world would soon discover. Carving out a distinguished career as an actor, playwright, screenwriter, author, and director, Gordan paved the way for so many in his field and showed what tremendous dedication, hard work, and passion can accomplish. Sheila Rogers, the long and distinguished host of the CBC radio show, The Current, summed him up perfectly in her moving message to him during his 75th birthday celebration in 2005, and I quote, "He has this ability to make everything he touches more beautiful. When he enters a room, the temperature goes up, the laughter grows deeper, and the stories get better. His art is art, and he is my favorite work of art. He has led us in all his creative outlets to a greater understanding of what it means to be human and how wonderful that can be." End of quote. Sheila, you couldn't have done better. But with all the honor and recognition that comes with such an outstanding career, it would be easy to forget where it all began. But not for Gordan. The obvious and sincere love that remains for his hometown and home province make us proud. His humble, authentic, and respectful nature shows us how others should be treated, and his love of family reminds us of what matters most. Last year, the people of this town were shocked and saddened to hear that Gordan has spent the last several years recovering from 2 major surgeries for a chronic pain condition which required hospitalization and extensive physiotherapy. But no surprise, never one to give up. The rally man bounced back and is now firmly focused on the future, trying to make up for the time he lost due to his health issues. He certainly confirmed this just a couple of weeks ago during the 150 Canada Day celebration, when CBC Television carried his latest work called The River of My Dreams, a portrait of Gordan Pinsent. This program was showcased throughout the country to excellent reviews. Johanna Schellner called us the Toronto Star, said, and I quote, "The River of My Dreams explains how Gordan helped build Canada's theatre and TV industries, and is indeed the story of Canadian entertainment," unquote. You, my friend, you have been a pivotal and extraordinary gift to this nation's entertainment and arts community. You are a deserving icon. We are so proud of you as Canadians, Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, but most profoundly as citizens of this beautiful little town of Grand Falls-Windsor. Ladies and gentlemen, I now ask you to turn your attention to the screen above me as we present to you a short video of our very special friend.
Gordan Pinsent plays a time in his time.
The summer nights, the colds, the spring birds, and the smells of things in the wind.
But his greatest character may just be himself as a star on screen and off. I am Canadian icon, Gordan Pinsent. For the last 6 decades, Gordan's career has taken from Grand Falls, Newfoundland to Hollywood, back home to Canada. He's devoted himself to telling Canadian stars stories of his life.
I'm your husband. James Grant. We've been married for 45 years.
Going forward, Gordan won a Genie for that, and the acclaim by Daniel Day-Lewis, who said he was in awe of the performance.
I sketched a lot at school, so I was good at sketching and various things, but I sort of took it for granted. And but I was terrible at everything else, and I had an embarrassing relationship with manual labor. At that time, I thought, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to be much of anything anyway. I don't know what, and discovered the world of art, the dramatic arts, and so on, and went looking for stages that would be around. And teachers said to the kids, "You know this man? You know, he's done such and such." "Oh yeah." Some of the kids weren't saying much. And then a voice in the back row with the children said, "Is your device a hammer?" I suppose his mother must have said, "Oh, I think he does."
That's something else, man. That's good. There's not many actors who affect one generation. But to feel like, depending on how old you are, from whether you're 10 years old or whether you're 80 years old in this country, you have something to associate with Gordan Pinsent. That must feel pretty good.
Most of the time, it's there may be another way to phrase that, and I'm not sure what the other way would be, because home obviously has been Newfoundland. My most prized possession, my birth certificate from Newfoundland.
Suddenly down the streets of the town, inviting everyone to show.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere pleasure to introduce to you our guest of honor for this year's Grand Falls-Windsor Salmon Festival, Gordan Pinsent. Let's hear it for Gordan.
Mayor Manuel, Mrs. Manuel, Holly, distinguished guests, old friends, new friends, ladies and gentlemen, this is not fair. You all look younger than I do. Every one of you. But so does Grand Falls. Interesting story, Paul, about the Queen. I got a call from my wife. I was down in Prince Edward Island at the time, years ago, and they said they want to know if we want to join the lineup of people to meet Queen Elizabeth. So I went to Ottawa, and a few of us lined up. Anne Murray, a bunch of others, all of us Canadian people. And Prime Minister Trudeau, the first one, he accompanied her up to each person, and he would say, this is so-and-so. And got to me and he said, this is Gordan Pinsent. He's a director, an actor, and a writer. And Queen Elizabeth said, that's a bit greedy, isn't it? She had chestnut colored hair at that time. She was quite pretty. But that was it. And strange about being here. I'm very honored, and it means a great deal, so much more than you might imagine. Way back when I was a kid on what was then 4th Avenue, I'd stroll up High Street throughout the years, as a matter of fact, as they went by, giving a nod to the wonderful old post office that used to be. And then the town club, we had a town club with bowling and billiards. Enjoyed all of that world. The 3 wonderful old school buildings, the old school, the brick school, the kindergarten, the Cabin House, McPherson's Tea Room, Baird's Hotel. And then I realized, that's all right, they're not here anymore, but the town has taken on new life. At least the mill is still here. What? I know it's an old topic now, but when I heard the mill was closing down, I thought it was an first smells of my nose were mother's bread coming out of the oven and anything coming out of that smokestack. Those things were as comforting and natural as any of our daily needs. I tried to imagine a man like my father entering that mill for the very first time, and today's men coming out for the last time. Curious feeling, a close here. That would have seemed to be the end of days for the first while. But according to an anonymous piece of advice that I got on an occasion when I had a bad reaction to a play I was in, somebody had left a note which I think fits the situation here. High station is earned by the gallantry with which appalling experiences are survived with grace. And you've sure done that. This town is not just grand, it's great. And putting a new coat on it wouldn't have been enough if not for the heart and the backbone underneath. Although I suppose if my father arrived as many did all those many years ago and wondered if it was going to last, it would have been natural to throw a few things in the same bag he brought with him. A bit of hardtack, a brace of rabbits over his shoulder, and head out back to the balmy days of Dildo, where I would have been born with a hook in my mouth instead of a comic book in the back pocket. I never knew my father as a young man. He had to quit work and he became a cobbler, a shoe cobbler. And I'd always wanted to wonder what he was like as a young man. And I was at a function at CBC in St. John's. And a young fellow came up to me and said, I saw you on television last night, and you said you would have loved to meet someone who knew your father when he was young. I said, yeah. And he said, my grandfather knew him really well. I said, you're kidding. How can I talk to him? Where is he? Oh, he's over on the other side of the room. I said, bring him over. This is fantastic. So he brought this old gentleman over. And I said, would you sit with me and talk to me for a minute? So he did. I said, so you knew Pop? Oh yes, he said, I knew William really well. Stephen, I said. Stephen. Well, that would have been his second name. I said, no. Second name was Arthur. Well, anyway, we had past and present of Grand Falls, you were all set. And even in the earlier times, every early Grand Falls had a touch about it of being different and special. It was a bit rustic in the early days, but it had a quiet and dignified building and character all its own. Being presented with an honorary doctorate at Memorial some years ago, Canon George Earl. Does anybody remember Canon George Earl? Well, introducing me, he said, Gordan was from Grand Falls and I'm from Buckham's. And every night the girls from Buckham's would come home from work and they'd get all dolled up. They put on a little extra lipstick and the high heels and they'd go into Grand Falls and come back all stuffed. So I knew it was kind of special for him. Changes are all right as long as no one is hurt. Over the years, there was always things changing back, and I'd get back maybe once a year, sometimes taking the changes or whatever. But in St. John's did a lot of changing. Nothing stayed the same. I took particular notice of a mansion that had become a restaurant, which gave rise to this. I went into a house to get out of the cold. It used to be classic before it was sold, but now it was a restaurant. Napkins and all. But she didn't come close to the one in the mall. Now, Mary, my dear, you should see what a mess they made of our lovely front room. And just guess what they did to the bed where your poor mother died. It was hung from the ceiling with lamps down one side. There was men with their caps on, not saying their grace, and an old church pew looking right out of place. There was some with no shoes on. There was one with narrow stitch, half boys and half girls, and half goodness knows which. A waitress come by with a smirk of a snot, and a nose that covered her face like a knot. Name it, she said, and you better be fast. This pew is reserved at 15:15. The quiche, I said. Either cold or hot, but none of them bits. I wants the lot. And none of that stuff about Bourguignon. I wants the quiche before she's gone. My sister said there was something new. Don't die, she said, till you down a few. Have one of them and it's guaranteed you'll go there again when you're out for a feed. We're all out, you, she said with a smile, poking her customers all the while. How about creeps or bouillabaisse or escargots right in your face? Have them yourself, I said, parboiled, and I hope you chokes and that goes for your child. Tis quiche I want, and nothing but quiche. That stuff you gives to your nouveau riche. I'm sorry, she said, you'll have to leave. I couldn't serve quiche to the likes of you. You got no class, you got no taste. Serving you quiche would just be a waste. Well, on my way out, I dropped into the back, and you talk about quiche. There was rack after rack. So that was the quiche I got. My God. With Darman and meat, and Darman and cod, and no cake on it, and the right of the thing. I'd sooner the skin off the leg of the fillet, yes. And sooner will I take a chance on bad meat than go back to that mess hall on New Governor Street. Grand Falls-Windsor. Making up what was, what is, and what it will become is a story which should be on every school's permanent curriculum from this day on. The wonderful artist, Christopher Pratt, shared a story with me from his school days to do with flicking marbles with other kids behind the school. The very best. I'm proud to be here. Thank you.
Sure, that's something that everybody in attendance tonight won't forget. I just want to take a minute to make a very special presentation to Gordan Pinsent on behalf of the community, on behalf of the people here tonight. We'd like to present Gordan with the key to our town of Grand Falls-Windsor. key to the town is reserved for the very most prestigious, important of people who made such a contribution and made their mark and have brought so much positive attention to our community and our province over the course of a great career. Not only nationally, but internationally. So it's my pleasure to, on behalf of everyone, present Mr. Gordan Pinsent with the key to the Town of Grand Falls-Windsor. I gotta keep Gordan up here for another minute or two. As many people are probably aware here tonight, Gordan had a very special day yesterday. July 12th marked Gordan's 87th birthday. And we think it will be very fitting and appropriate to join me in singing Gordan Pinsent a happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gordan. Happy birthday to you.
You know how long it took for me to do this? To make that cake?
We also have one other item I'm going to ask Mr. Paul Hennessy to present to Gordan. And as a birthday gift, we had commissioned a local artist, Rob Taylor, to do a stained glass art for Gordan. And of course, many people will know that Rob's also one of our municipal enforcement officers for the Town of Grand Falls-Windsor. So I just want to make sure I go through the significance of this piece that was created by Rod. It's entitled Tied Together, and it represents Gordan's relationship with our community, our history, and our arts and culture. And Gordan, I'd just like to one more time wish you a very happy birthday and thank you for agreeing to come here this very special night. Certainly an honor and privilege for me, and I'm sure a pleasure for everybody here this evening. Thank you.
Grand Falls House. I climbed in there once. The food was great.